guys, welcome to my channel. For those of you who are new, my name is Alexis. So I usually make videos about nursing, but today's video will be a little bit different. Today I'll be talking about how I paid off over $20,000 in student loans in just 15 months. So those of you who already have been subscribed to me for a while, you may know that nursing is actually my second degree. I first went to Duke University where I majored in biology. So I graduated from Duke in 2016, and then I went to nursing school and graduated from there in 2018. So obviously college often leads to student loans, especially in this country. So once I graduated from both programs, I had about a total of $21,500 in student loans. And yeah, that's a lot, but obviously some people have way more than that. Like, I've heard of people having like $500,000, $1 million in student loans, which is absolutely insane. I think the national average is like $30,000, so it's a little below average, but it's still a lot. I'm pretty much just gonna go through my story and talk about each of my loans and how I paid them off in only 15 months. So first, let's talk about how I got almost $22,000 in student loans. So like I said, I went to Duke first, and when I went to Duke, tuition was about $65,000 per year. Yes, that's a lot. And so of course I filled out FAFSA, did my financial aid, so my parents ended up having to pay about $10 to $13 per semester. And the thing about Duke is that when I went there, they didn't allow you to pay off your tuition with like a credit card. You had to pay that amount of money like straight out of your bank account right away. Like, they wanted their money ASAP. So my parents were like shelling out all this money every semester. You know, shout out to my parents, I really appreciate it. So it was really expensive, and I think now tuition there is like $70,000. Like, it just keeps going up and up every single year. When I graduated from Duke, I had $10,000 in student loans, which isn't too bad, but it's still up there. So then, like I said, I went to nursing school, graduated from there in 2018, and I graduated from there with, I think, $11,500 in student loans. I took out one loan from Duke, and then when I went to nursing school, I took out 2 loans. And so I did a lot of math because I wanted to know how much I spent in total, how much interest I paid, how much I saved by paying off my loans super early. So I have my handy dandy tablet, as I call it, and it has like all of my numbers and stuff like that so that I can tell you guys the exact amounts. So like I said, I keep saying like I said, but I ended up owing $21,500 in student loans. So the total amount that I actually paid was $22,238.11. So that means I paid $738.11 in interest. And I actually kind of paid a little bit more than that, maybe like extra $20, because for one of my loans, or actually 2 of my loans, I did have to pay a fee of $1.50 each time I made a payment, which was not a big deal, but whatever. Obviously, college is super expensive in this country, and you know, everyone is hoping for Bernie Sanders or someone to cancel student loan debt. And you know, I think that would be great, but it wasn't something that it's not something that I'm too optimistic about. I don't want to, bet on that. So I figure I'm just going to go ahead and pay off my loans instead of waiting for that, or waiting for, loan forgiveness. And I know a lot of people keep like arguing, especially on Twitter, like about if it's fair to have, student loans canceled. It's like, well, what about the people that already paid it off? And I feel like, I would be happy for everyone else to have their student loans canceled. Like, I'm not going to be mad about it. Obviously, it would be nice if I could have that if, it does happen in the future, but it's not a big deal. You should just be happy that, someone else in the future is benefiting from something, is having a better experience than you did. Hopefully one day, people can have their student loans canceled, and hopefully one day we'll have like free education, and maybe it won't be so expensive in this country, but I'm just not too optimistic about it. I do hope that it happens, but probably won't happen anytime soon with this country. So I hate to be a Debbie Downer, but Alright, now let's talk about how I paid off that amount of money in such a short amount of time. So like I said, my parents paid my tuition. They shelled out a lot of money for me to get 2 degrees, and I really appreciated that. So I felt like it was only fair for me to pay back the student loans myself. Like, why would I, have them do that too once I start my career and I'm bringing in money of my own? So this is not one of those stories where it's like, oh, I lived at home rent-free, my parents are rich, they paid off my student loans, or I didn't hit the lottery or anything like that. This is just me working my new job as a nurse and paying off my student loans all on my own while also paying off all of my other bills like rent. So where I live, rent is pretty pricey. Like, I pay over $1,200 a month for rent, which is crazy. So I had to pay rent, light bill, Wi-Fi, gas, groceries, oil changes, car insurance, stuff like that. I'm paying all that by myself. My dad did pay for the car taxes, and I don't have to do a monthly payment on the car because the car I drive is paid off, thankfully. And then my mom did take care of my phone bill. I just started paying my phone bill on my own like maybe 3 months ago. So for the most part, I paid all my bills all by myself, with exception to the car taxes and my phone bill. The main way that I paid off all of my stuff was pretty much to just budget, use coupons, and just be smart about my money. So I do get paid to make YouTube videos, but this, once again, is not one of those stories where like I'm bringing a bunch of money from YouTube. I just started getting checks from YouTube in December, and it has not even been a lot, like less than $500. So none of that has gone towards my student loans. Also, I have not been doing a lot of overtime shifts at work. I can pick up overtime, but in the 1.5 years that I've been working at my job, I think I've only done like 3 or 4 overtime shifts. So like I said, it's just been me, budgeting and bringing in my regular income, nothing extra. However, I do want to mention that as a nurse, we do get paid shift differentials, so I do get paid more to work night shifts or weekend shifts, and that is a requirement. I had to rotate for the first year, and now I work all nights. Also, what was I about to say? Also I have gotten 4 raises since I started my job. Nothing major, like I'm not making extra $10 an hour or anything like that, but I have gotten 4 raises, and I have gotten 1 bonus, which was a nice surprise. And speaking of shift differentials, like I said earlier, that does make a big difference working night shifts and weekends. Like I think I've gotten like an extra, my base salary, like when you see a base salary for a nurse, especially a new nurse in the South, it's like, we don't get paid that much, which is true. But when you get all those shift differentials and working holidays, getting paid time and a half, it makes a big difference. I think I brought in like an extra like $10,000 to $15,000 just from working like night shifts and weekend shifts. So that's very helpful. So I graduated with my first degree in May of 2016, and I started nursing school, so my loan payments were deferred. I didn't have to worry about it. And then I graduated from nursing school in May 2018, and then I got a 6-month grace period. The first loan payment that I had was due on December 6th, I believe, 2018. And then my other 2 loans, those due dates were March 1st, 2019. So my goal was to pay off each of my loans exactly 1 year from the due date of the first payment. And I was able to reach my goal. I just randomly decided that I was going to pay off my smallest loan first, and then I would go to the next highest one, and then the final one after that. So my smallest loan was $4,000. That was for nursing school. My next loan was $7,500, also for nursing school. And then my biggest and final loan, which is the third one, was for Duke University, and that one was $10,000. So apparently this is called the snowball method. I didn't know it had a name. It was just something that I decided to do. But the snowball method is when you pay off your smallest loan first and then you work your way up. Or you can do what's called the avalanche method, which is when you pay off the loan with the highest interest rate, because obviously interest builds up over time, and the longer you wait, the more you're going to end up paying in the long run. But my interest rates were pretty much the same, so it really didn't matter which one I paid off first. So I was like, let me go ahead and do the smallest one first. Alright, so now we're going to go through each of my loans and how long it took me to pay them off. So like I said, I started with the smallest one first, which was the $4,000 one for nursing school. The interest rate for that one was 5%. And so I paid this loan off in just 3 payments. So I'm not gonna lie, I did use some of my income tax money for that. So I made like a huge payment, and then I paid off the rest 2 months later. So $4,000 paid off in 3 months with 3 payments. My minimum payment for this loan was $42.43. And so I did the math. I wanted to know how much I would have paid in total had I just done that minimum payment every single month. So got all my math, my calculations here. So if I just did $42.43 each month, it would have taken me 10 years to pay off that loan, and I would have paid a total of $5,091.81. Remember, this loan was only $4,000, so that would have been an extra $1,000. So I ended up paying a total of $4,026.16 by paying it off in just 3 months. So my interest was only $26.16. So I think that was a good deal. It saved me over $1,000 by paying them off early. And this loan was through Heartland ECSI. So my next loan was also for nursing school, the $7,500 one, and this one was through Nelnet. And it was a little different because they divided this loan into 2 groups. One was subsidized and the other was unsubsidized. So the subsidized group was $5,500 and the unsubsidized one was $2,000. But I just viewed it as one loan on its own of a total of $7,500. The interest rate for this loan was 4.45%, and the first payment was due in December of 2018. So it was the very first one that I made a payment on. But it took me exactly a year to pay this one off, so I reached my goal, and I did 13 total payments. As you can see, I started off just paying a little bit over the minimum, and then as time went on, I started to pay more. So I worked my way up to about $1,000 to $2,000 each month. And then once I thought I paid it off, I got a little message saying that I still owed 13 freaking cents. So I had to do another payment for 13 cents. And back to my calculations, my minimum payment for this loan was about $79 each month. So if I just paid $79 each month on this loan, it would have taken me about 9 years to pay it off, and I would have paid a total of about $8,500 rather than $7,500. So I ended up paying in total $7,854.71. So that means I paid $264.32 in interest. Now, if I would have taken the whole 9 years to pay this one off with the minimum payments, I would have paid an extra $924. So once again, I saved money by paying this loan off early. Alright, and so for my final loan, which was for Duke, $10,000, this was like a federal Perkins loan, I believe. I don't really know what that means, but that's what it was. And this was also through Heartland ECSI. And so the interest rate for this one was 5%. Once again, I started off paying a little bit over the minimum, and then once I paid off my other 2 loans, I got a lot more aggressive with my payments for this one. So I started paying about $1,000 to $2,000 each month, and then the final payment, I was just like, you know what, I want to just pay it all off. So I paid almost $3,400 for this last payment just last week. And yeah, I know it's crazy, but I was ready to be done, and I had the money, so I did it. My minimum payment for this loan was $106.07 each month. So if I would have paid that minimum amount every single month, once again, it would have taken me 10 years to pay it off, and I would have paid a total of $12,729.07. So that's a good bit above what I owed from the start. So because I paid it off early, I ended up paying a total of $10,447.63. So that is an interest I paid of $447.63. So because I paid this loan off early instead of waiting the full 10 years and doing a minimum payment, I saved myself $2,281.44. So basically, if you guys want to know how much I saved in total by paying my loans off early instead of waiting, the full 9 to 10 years, well, based on my calculations, I saved $4,271.09. And in my opinion, it is worth it. I'd much rather just get this debt out the way, because one thing about me, I hate owing people money. I hate debt. I hate, interest rates building up. So like I just want to get these loans paid off as soon as possible. So I did. And I forgot to mention that the good thing about the snowball method, so when you pay off your smallest loan first, is that it really builds confidence and it makes you feel like you're making a lot of progress. Like you can actually see it. It's like, wow, I have a full loan paid off all the way. Now I just have 2 more. And then you pay that one off. It's like, wow, I have 2 down, 1 to go. And whenever I would pay off a loan, I would like make a note of it. I would like, tweet about it, or like, take a picture on Snapchat, and then I could just like go back each time I paid off a loan and look at it and see how far I've come in such a short amount of time. So now I just want to go over a few tips that I have to help you guys pay off your student loans. So my first tip is to be patient. Obviously, I'm sure you guys don't want to hear that, but it's the truth. You really do have to be patient. You don't want to rush yourself or overwhelm yourself, dig yourself into a bigger hole, so just be patient. My second tip would be to set reminders and to never miss a payment. You don't want to miss a payment because you can screw up your credit score. And you need to have good credit if you want to get things like a house or a car or apartment or whatever. So don't ever miss a payment. I never miss a payment, and I feel like there's no reason for you to miss a payment if you set a reminder. You can put it on your phone, your computer, whatever, your calendar. Just make sure you set a reminder so you don't forget. My third tip is to always pay at least the minimum, okay? You don't want to miss a payment, and you don't want to pay less than the minimum. And if you can, pay more than the minimum. So, I always try to pay more than minimum. If my minimum was $79, I would try to pay $100. If my minimum was $100, I would try to pay at least $200. But that's just for me. If you can only just do the minimum, that's fine. But just try to at least do the minimum. Also, make sure you can save as you're paying off your loans. I personally didn't really save. Oops. But in my mind, I told myself, I gave myself a number, and I was like, this is the minimum number that I'm comfortable having in my bank account while paying off my loans. And I made sure my bank account never got below that minimum number. So you guys need to figure out, how much you're comfortable having in your bank account, like the lowest amount you're comfortable having in there. And make sure you have enough in there for an emergency, because you never know when your car is going to break down, or I don't know, God forbid you lose your job or something like that and you still have to pay rent. You want to have some extra money in there. So I was not necessarily saving. I wish I could have, but I was literally throwing my money at my student loans. I made huge payments, huge payments. I spent so much money every month. If you add in all my rent and all my bills and my student loans, I spent a ton of money, which probably wasn't the wisest thing. I probably should have saved, but I didn't. And thankfully it worked out for me. I know that if something bad happened, I had my credit card, I had a little extra money, or I could go to my parents. But I absolutely hate asking people for money, even my parents. But I know that if I needed something, I could go to them. But if you guys don't have a safety net or something like that, don't rush it, and don't spend a ton of money on your loans, more than you have to, more than the minimum. Make sure you're actually saving up money if you don't have someone to help you. In addition, I always make sure I use coupons. I have the app on my phone called Retail Me Not, and so it just gives you promo codes to use online, and also coupons that you can use in the store. So I love that app. Also, I do my grocery shopping instead of eating out all the time. I pack a lunch and take it with me to work. Not all the time, but most of the time. And so I like Food Lion. If you're sleeping on Food Lion, you're crazy, because I have an MVP card, and it's their rewards program. So a lot of times I can get things buy one get one free. They give you rewards, so if you spend a certain amount in the produce department or whatever department, they'll give you an extra $2 or $3 off your total bill. And there are several times, actually most of the time, when I go to Food Lion and I do my grocery shopping, I usually get between $10 to $30 knocked off my total bill, just because I have the MVP card. So use your coupons. My final tip would be to get your priorities straight. Make sure you prioritize, and make sure you have a good balance between working hard and playing hard. So my priority was to pay off my student loans as soon as I could, especially within a year from the first payment that I made, and I was able to do that. But I know, once again, going back to Twitter, there's always debates about whether or not you should like travel. You know, millennials are traveling rather than paying off their student loans because they want to enjoy life. And I think that's great, but that wasn't my priority. I decided that I wasn't going to go on any big trips until after I paid off my student loans. But with that being said, even though I was like throwing money at my loans, I still made sure I had fun. Like, if I wanted to go out for drinks, I went out for drinks. If I wanted to go shopping, I went shopping. So you don't want to be spending all this money on your loans and being stressed out and not having any fun. But you also don't want to be all about having fun and ignoring your loans and ruining your credit. So it's all about finding that good balance. Alright, so what's next for me now that I paid off my student loans? Now, I don't know, I think I'm going to do like a small little celebration. I might like just treat myself to the spa or go on a little trip or something. I don't know. I just want to do something small to celebrate. But the main goal now would be to save up, travel a little bit, and then tackle my credit card. Once I get rid of my credit card debt, then I will be debt free, which would be amazing. To be debt free at 26. My birthday is actually tomorrow. I'll be 26, so I do want to pay off my credit card, and hopefully by the end of the summer, or at least by the end of the year. I'm not going to give myself like a strict deadline like I did for my student loans, and I'm not going to be too aggressive with it right away. I think for this month and next month, I'm kind of just going to pay the minimum, and then so I can save up a little bit. And then I'm going to be aggressive and just like attack it and throw my money at it so I can be done with it soon. And it's a good bit. It's like another student loan, to be honest. But I will be very happy and excited once I am debt free. So yeah, that's pretty much my goal, to pay off my credit card, travel, and save money. And so I was thinking about going back to school to get my TMP, but I just can't make up my mind. Like, do I really want to go back to school for 3 years and be stressed out? And do I want to get back into debt and pay student loans again? Like, I don't know why, but my camera just cut off on me. But as I was saying, I don't know if I really want to go back to school and deal with the debt again, but we shall see. But I'm just very happy to be done with those student loans. Like, I don't have, you know, it just following me around. It's a big weight off of my shoulders. It doesn't even seem real. And but yeah, sometimes I just randomly think, like, I can be at work, or I can just be in bed, or I can be watching TV, and I'll just like randomly think, and I just be like, oh my gosh, I could have had like an extra $22,000 in my bank account right now. But you know, that's life. Had to pay off my debt eventually, so I figured why not get it done sooner rather than later and reduce the total amount of interest that I have to pay in the long run. But for those of you who are about to go to school and you're thinking about taking out student loans, make sure you are smart about it. You don't have to go to the most expensive college. If there's another way to pay for it without taking out a loan, try to do that, because loans are no joke. They suck. They really do. But it's a part of life. Just be smart. And it's crazy that like 18-year-olds can take out like so much money without even having a job secured or a career, you know, guaranteed. It's crazy. But for everyone else who already has student loans, best of luck to you. I hope my tips were helpful, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, give it a thumbs up. Best of luck to you all that have to pay off your student loans. You can do it. If I can do it, you can too. Just remember to be smart about it. And yeah, I think that's pretty much all I have to say. That was pretty much my journey. I'm so happy to be done. I'm very thankful. I'm blessed. And now I can try to build up my bank account, because I'm broke now. And I know the term broke is like subjective, but I feel like I'm broke. I mean, I can still live comfortably, but like, I could have extra $22,000 in my bank account. Like, but anyways, that is it for this video. I will catch you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you all have a lovely day. Bye.